In the vast tapestry of Earth's history, there are creatures whose legend persists long after their bones have vanished beneath layers of sediment. Of these, none loom larger in our collective imagination than the Megalodon, a shark so immense, so powerful, its very existence challenges the boundaries of what we believe is possible in the natural world. But what would happen if, against all odds, the Megalodon returned to our modern oceans? To understand the consequences of such an extraordinary event, we must first travel back millions of years, to the age when Megalodon reigned supreme. The story begins in the Miocene epoch, roughly 23 to 3.6 million years ago. The world was warmer, coastlines shifted, and the seas teemed with life. It was here, in these prehistoric waters, that Megalodon carved its legacy. Megalodon, meaning big tooth, was a true titan of the deep. Estimates suggest these sharks stretch between 50 and 60 feet in length, 3 times longer than the largest great white shark alive today, and comparable in size to a city bus. Their jaws, lined with serrated teeth up to 7 inches long, could exert a bite force of over 40,000 pounds per square inch, more than enough to crush the skull of a whale. For millions of years, Megalodon was the apex predator of the oceans, hunting with precision and power. Their diet was as epic as their size. Whales, dolphins, seals, and giant fish all fell prey to their insatiable appetite. With their disappearance around 3.6 million years ago, the ocean began to change. The reasons for Megalodon's extinction remain mysterious. Some point to cooling oceans, the loss of prey, and competition from rising whale populations and other predators. But the imprint of Megalodon's dominance never faded. Their fossilized teeth, scattered across ancient seabeds, continue to awe scientists and adventurers alike. But imagine for a moment that Megalodon returns, not as a fossil, not as a legend, but as a living, breathing predator, slicing through the waves of our contemporary oceans. What would modern life look like in the shadow of such a creature? The first ripples would be felt not on the surface, but deep within the intricate web of the ocean's ecosystems. Today, the apex predators of the seas are great white sharks, orcas, and sperm whales. They maintain the delicate balance between prey and predator, ensuring that populations of fish, seals, and smaller sharks do not spiral out of control. The sudden arrival of Megalodon, a hunter unmatched in strength and size, would disrupt this equilibrium in ways both dramatic and unforeseen. Megalodon, with its colossal hunger, would once again target large marine mammals. Whales, especially juveniles, and species like humpbacks and gray whales, would find themselves vulnerable. The patterns of whale migrations, carefully tuned to avoid danger, would be thrown into chaos. Pods would scatter, mothers might abandon calves, and the haunting songs of whales could be drowned out by the primal fear of pursuit. The effects would cascade through the food chain. Orcas, once dominant, might become prey. Great whites, whose reign has lasted millennia, would be forced into hiding or retreat to shallower waters. The balance of fish populations could shift as Megalodon preys upon species previously unchecked, leading to possible declines in tuna, swordfish, and other large pelagic fish. Even the plankton blooms, foundation of the food web, could be indirectly affected as whales alter their feeding grounds to escape the new threat. But marine life is not the only part of this story. Humanity's connection to the ocean is deep and multifaceted. From fishing fleets to global shipping lanes, from sunlit beaches to bustling ports, our civilization depends on the stability of the seas. The return of Megalodon would send shockwaves through these systems, challenging our ingenuity and resilience. Consider the fishing industry, a cornerstone of coastal economies worldwide. Tuna, swordfish, and other valuable stocks are already under pressure from overfishing and climate change. The Megalodon, with its voracious appetite, would compete for these same resources. Commercial fishing boats might find their nets raided, their catches diminished, or worse, their vessels stalked by the shadow of the greatest predator ever known. Fishermen would recount tales of monstrous shapes lurking beneath the waves, of nets shredded and fish lost to jaws too powerful to resist. Shipping, too, would face new risks. Modern supertankers and cargo ships are massive, yet even their steel hulls are not invulnerable to the bite of Megalodon. While attacks on ships would be rare, Megalodon would prefer easier prey. The very knowledge of its existence would force shipping companies to reconsider their routes. Insurance rates could soar. Naval patrols might increase. The specter of a Megalodon attack would haunt every journey across open water. Tourism and recreation, the lifeblood of countless coastal cities, would be transformed overnight. Beaches that once promised relaxation and adventure would now carry warnings of a lurking giant. Surfers, swimmers, and divers would hesitate before plunging into the waves. Local economies, dependent on the allure of the ocean, might suffer as visitors choose safety over excitement. The impact on coastal communities would be profound. News of Megalodon sightings would spread like wildfire. Social media would erupt with grainy footage, wild theories, and debates over whether to close beaches or continue as normal. Governments might deploy drones, sonar buoys, or even naval vessels to monitor the movements of the creature. The world would watch in anxious fascination as scientists scrambled to understand how a relic from the past had returned and what it would mean for the future. Yet humans are resilient and resourceful. Faced with the challenge of coexisting with Megalodon, science and technology would rise to meet the threat. Marine biologists, ecologists, and oceanographers would launch expeditions to study the creature, tracking its movements, analyzing its diet, and seeking patterns in its behavior. The hunt for knowledge would be as relentless as Megalodon's own pursuit of prey. New technologies would emerge. Satellite tracking, underwater drones, and advanced sonar systems could create a network of Megalodon early warning alerts, notifying ships and coastal communities of its presence. Fishing gear might be redesigned to withstand powerful bites, and new protocols developed to reduce the risk of encounters. Coastal cities could build reinforced barriers or even floating observation platforms, allowing tourists to safely witness the spectacle of a living Megalodon, transforming fear into fascination. At the same time, the ethical dilemmas would multiply. Would humanity seek to capture or kill Megalodon, fearing for its safety? Or would we strive to protect this living fossil, recognizing its place in the tapestry of life on Earth? Conservationists might argue for its preservation, while others demand its removal. The debate would echo in headlines, classrooms, and political chambers, forcing us to confront the age-old question, what is our role as stewards of the natural world? But perhaps the most profound impact would be psychological, a shift in our perception of the oceans themselves. For centuries, the sea has been a place of both wonder and terror. The return of Megalodon would remind us that the ocean is not merely a resource or a playground, but a realm of mysteries beyond our control. Every voyage, every dive, every glance at the horizon would carry the thrill of the unknown. Yet, could humans truly survive alongside such a predator? History suggests that coexistence is possible, but never without risk. We have learned to live with great white sharks, crocodiles, and polar bears, each powerful, each dangerous, each commanding respect. Megalodon, however, is a predator of a different order, a creature whose size and strength surpass anything we have faced. The margin for error would be razor thin. Societies might adapt, as they have throughout history. Beach safety protocols would evolve. Education campaigns would teach respect for the deep. Research institutions might collaborate globally, sharing data and strategies. Tourism could shift from risky recreation to awe-inspiring observation, turning fear into fascination. The Megalodon could become both a symbol of nature's power and a catalyst for innovation. And yet, for all our technology and wisdom, Megalodon would remain an enigma, a living reminder of a world before humans, a challenge to our dominance of the seas. Its presence would invite us to question, to wonder, to dream. As the story unfolds, one question lingers in the depths of our imagination. Could Megalodon still be hiding in the unexplored reaches of our oceans? Every year, thousands of square miles of seafloor remain unseen, every trench and abyss shrouded in darkness. The ocean is vast, so vast that even the largest creatures could evade us for centuries. Reports persist of giant shadows, of teeth too large to belong to any known shark, of whales vanishing without explanation. Are these remnants of the Megalodon, or simply echoes of our longing for mystery? The line between legend and reality blurs in the twilight of the deep. Scientists continue the search, deploying submersibles to the Mariana Trench, scanning the abyssal plains, listening for the songs of whales interrupted by a sudden silence. Every discovery brings us closer to understanding the true limits of life on Earth, and every unanswered question reminds us that the ocean's greatest secrets may yet be hidden. In the end, the return of Megalodon is a story not just of science, but of awe. It asks us to imagine a world where the past and present collide, where ancient predators challenge our mastery of the seas, and where every wave conceals a possibility. It invites us to look beyond the surface, to embrace the unknown, and to consider our place in the grand drama of life. So, as you gaze out over the endless horizon, or peer into the midnight blue of the ocean's depths, remember, the world is still full of mysteries waiting to be discovered. And somewhere, perhaps in the silent trenches or the swirling currents, the legend of Megalodon endures, challenging us to explore, to question, and to dream. Could Megalodon still be hiding in the unexplored depths of our oceans? The answer lies not just in the realm of science, but in the boundless curiosity of the human spirit. The journey continues,